you doing? This is Franklin Cruz. So today what we're going to be talking about is performance and high-level performance. There's so many different ways and so many different techniques on how to perform. But what I found is that, and I really discovered, is that not just performance tie in, but responsibility and performance actually tie into each other. So responsibility, like a lot of people think that responsibility is almost like taking fault or blame, but that's actually the opposite. The definition of responsibility is not taking fault or blame. That's actually not the type of responsibility that I'm personally talking about. The type of responsibility that I'm talking about is believing in a stand, is having almost like a stand, a commitment of something that you really believe in, that you're responsible for that. When you start becoming responsible, again, responsibility is not taking, I'm not talking about the type that's fault or blame, but it's taking the stand and being committed. And so when you're committed and taking that stand and what you believe in, you are being responsible for it. So what happens is there's only two types of performance. There's non-performance and performance. The funny part is either one of them you're actually still performing, because you're performing in inaction, which is a performance, or you're performing at a high level, which is also performance. You just have to choose which performance you're actually occurring to, which one you're actually doing. See, what I discovered on this weekly session that we're going to be doing is that when you're actually performing, you're taking your responsibility, your stand, and you're performing. So how do you perform? Well, one thing that I've been doing is just doing these videos on a weekly basis is performance, writing it out and saying I'm going to achieve it, but putting a timeline towards it. See, time, performance, and responsibility tie in all into each other. Time and performance are almost like brothers and sisters. They have to work hand in hand. So how do you actually work hand in hand with time and performance? The way that you do it is this. Time, first of all, is something that's ever going. Like right now that you're watching this, the time keeps on passing and passing. You have that time. But what if you didn't have the time? What kind of urgency would you do? Like, how urgent would it be if they said that, you know what, you had cancer right now, and that the only way that you would stop cancer is, doing a specific task? Well, how fast would you achieve that task? I would assume pretty quickly, right? Yeah. So, or the funny part is, time also equates to your performance in a sense of urgency. If you knew that you had to get a project done and you had a timeline to it, how urgent will you do that? Well, on all you entrepreneurs out there, so a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of people have certain things that they want to achieve. Myself also. A lot of things I also want to achieve. And so for the last 3 weeks, I've been putting in a timeline and saying I'm going to achieve this because I said so, and I start putting at a time and date when it will be completed. And I made a promise that I'm going to do that, and I stayed responsible for that. Well, mind me, I've already finished in the last couple of weeks 2 of my books that I wanted to complete, and more products to help and give people the opportunity to really get in depth and learn and expand themselves. And I've been saying I was going to do that for the last 7 years, and I haven't done it. But in the last 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks, I said I was going to accomplish it, and I created this structure that I'm teaching you now, and I did it. Now, if you want more in-depth details on how to do it, we're creating a module for that, but this is really the basics of it. Remember, responsibility is not taking blame or fault. What it is being committed in your stand on what you believe in. See, because when you come from nothing, no past, and you're coming from nothing, what's open to you if there's nothing in front of you? Yeah, everything. So I challenge you to create that. Come from nothing, no past. My background is, yes, I'm adopted. My mom passed away tragically at 10 years old. I definitely understood the principle of time. I didn't know that she was going to pass, and she just passed. I wish I would have had the time to spend with her, because you're not promised tomorrow. There's a great book called the Bible, and it talks about that. You are not promised tomorrow. Live every single day like it could be your last. And structure this fulfillment that we're talking about now, so you can achieve those beautiful things. I know for a fact I'm talking to the next, Rosa Parks who takes a stand, the next Martin Luther King, the next leaders of this world are sitting right here behind this camera, which is you. All you have to do is come up with the structure that I'm teaching you and actually achieving it. When you achieve that, performance is inevitable. You have no choice but to perform. And I believe in you. You have a great, great, fantastic day. And click on whatever it says to click on. Be blessed.
Would you believe me? Would you listen if I told you that there is a love that makes a way and never holds you back? Yeah.